Can everybody hear me? Just wave. You're muted right now. Good. We're just going to wait a couple more minutes to see who else is signing on.
Hello.
Hi, Esther. How are you?
How are you?
Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Okay, let's start. My name is Mitch Garbo. For those of you who don't know me, it's a big moment for me to start this program. I've been thinking about it for a long time, practicing a little bit in Vacation Village in the summers, and I'm going to give you a little background of what I hope to accomplish with you today. I'm going to have you all muted right now, if you don't mind, just in case there's background noise. Okay. I'm going to break this up into basically three parts. One, I'm going to explain the background of why I'm doing this and a little explanation of why we're going to meditate and what we're hoping to accomplish. Then we're going to do a meditation. Then we'll discuss a little bit about our experience during the meditation, and then I'll answer some questions at the end. There'll be no time limit, but I suspect or expect that this will take anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour, maybe a little bit longer, but there won't be a limit. Okay, just so you know that that just in case my Wi-Fi kind of goes a little berserk and I freeze, if that happens during the meditation, don't stop what you're doing. Stay wherever you are in that meditation. I have someone working with me who's going to help me know that's happening, and I have plan B and C to keep it going smoothly. Okay, so don't break out of the meditation. Let's just stay with the program. Okay, I'll remind you that before we start. Okay, I named this program Hedva23. Hedva means joy or jubilation. And 23, for those of you who are familiar, is the gematria of Hedva. Hedva is Ches, Daled, Vav, Hey, 8465. It equals 23. And there's a breathing exercise that we're going to do that is breathing Hedva. It'll be inhaling 8, holding for 4, exhaling for 6, and holding and resting for 5. That'll be part of the meditation. But really the inspiration of... Hold on. One second, little technical issue.
What does Hedva mean?
Joy, jubilation, bliss, ecstasy. And that's what we're going to try to get to. But there's not just for you, but for transforming yourself in the world. And I'll get to that in a minute. That's why if you saw the teaser trailer, I called this what do I call it? The greatest event since the giving of the Torah on Har Sinai. Because what will be the greatest event since then? It's going to be the revelation of Moshiach in this world. Will that happen today? I hope so. But if it doesn't, I'm hoping that we get a little taste at least of what life will be like and how we can leave this day and continue on in our future days with a flavor of that, so you live it in the moment every day until we reveal it. It's going to be a process of revealing Mashiach in this world. But it starts really and only really with you working on yourself, and together helping each other do that. I'm going to get into it. I don't want to talk too much. So the inspiration of this this program comes from a Hasidic discourse from the Alter Rebbe, Shneur Zalman of Liadi. Here's a low-tech way of sharing my screen, okay? That's how, it's a very, very short Hasidic mimer from the first Lubavitcher Rebbe, who was a spiritual grandchild of the Baal Shem Tov, who founded the Hasidic movement. So this short mimer was what Lubavitchers call pre-Petersburg. It means before the Alter Rebbe published the Tanya, he wrote and taught these very short discourses. They're very concise, they're very dense, but they sum up really who we are and what we're doing here. This particular discourse is entitled Simcha, which is also joy. And I'm going to summarize this in just a couple of minutes. Basically, he says that all living things, plants, animals, and humans, as part of their DNA, is joy, simcha, all the time. It's always there. It's not something we have to reach for or obtain. It's something we have to reveal. Plants and animals are in that state all the time. Think about that. Animals are always perpetually living their purpose, knowing that their true source comes from God, and they're always in a sense of a place of joy and serenity. That does not mean that they don't experience pain. It doesn't mean they don't experience fear, panic, tragedy. But there's a difference. There's a big difference between animals and humans. The animal, let's take a deer. It's running from a predator. Let's say a tiger. I know tigers and deer probably don't live in the same place, but let's go with that for a second. A deer, when it's being chased by a predator, is going to have the famous deer in headlights. It's going to run like crazy, and it's going to do its best. It's going to go into fight or flight. Its neurochemicals are going to go wacky. Its hormones are going to shoot through their body, and they're going to flee, or fight. And they're not going to do well if they fight or freeze, so they're going to run. Now, the difference between the animal and the human is that if the deer gets away, it turns the corner, it loses the tiger. In a few minutes, the deer will calm down, relax, and go back to eating berries somewhere. It will not say, "Oh, that tiger. I'm never going to talk to that tiger again. Do you know what that tiger tried to do to me? I will never forgive that tiger, and I'm going to be angry at that tiger my whole life." They don't do that. Because animals are always in a sense, a place of serenity. They know their purpose. They have to survive. They get around the corner, and if they make it, they let it go. And they never stop, which what the Alter Rebbe says, they never stop the divine energy that's flowing through them, because they are always in that state of knowing who they are and what their purpose is. Humans, on the other hand, can block their energy, voluntarily or involuntary. Sometimes we know we're getting angry and blocking our purpose and who we are, for example, and sometimes we're unaware of our unconscious programs. And that's where meditation comes in, because we could, let me see if we could we could end this class right now if this was just a Torah shiur. I summarized the mimer. It was a short mimer. We could say, oh wow, we're different from the animals, but we should learn from them and learn to let go, and that's how we could live in peace and joy. And you might get a little inspired, go home and say, oh, that's interesting, and then maybe do another mitzvah or two. The difference between learning that, which is a mitzvah, we just did a mitzvah, we learned Torah, we got a little inspired, hopefully, and what we're going to do today is we're going to take the messages of this, and by the way, very important for Hedva, because it says that the key to being in Hashem's presence is Oz v'Chedva b'mkomo. Strength and joy are in his presence. That strength is not just physical strength. That strength that the Rebbe is talking about is inner strength, self-confidence. When you have self-confidence of who you are and what your purpose is in life, and joy, combine those two, you will live in the presence of God in peace and serenity. And we could always get there if we remember who we are. Unfortunately, we forget who we are because of the years of who we were when we were growing up, the narratives that we tell ourselves. Here's an example. So we go back to the deer. Besides the deer saying, oh, I'm not going to trust that tiger anymore, some deer, if they were humans, might say, you know what? I'm so stupid. My mother told me not to look for berries in that field. She told me that it was dangerous, it was a dangerous neighborhood, and I didn't listen to my mother. And I almost got killed today because I couldn't resist those berries. And when I went and I got those are the best berries anywhere. And I ate too many of those berries. And I gained a little bit of weight, and I looked terrible. And I almost gained so much weight I didn't get away from that tiger. And these are the stories that unconsciously we could be telling ourselves just from our programs of how we grew up in life. And that was only because our parents were human beings too, or our teachers were human beings. But we were children. And when we're children, our unconscious is absorbing everything. So if we get messages like, we're not smart enough, we don't look the way we're supposed to look, we're not acting the way we're supposed to, we're not good, we're not worthy, those are not true narratives. But we unconsciously walk around with them. So the goal is to get in touch and aware of what is your program, what are your programs, and how can I change them. And one way is to daily, if you can, meditate similar to a way we're going to meditate today. And when you do that, you slowly rewire your unconscious. But it's more than just learning it like we just did, because that's only intellect. A little inspiration, that's the heart and the body feeling it. But we really want to live it. So to live it, you really have to try to get inside yourself, become aware, and then make changes. And those changes are different for every person because we've all had different experiences. It may take time for some people. It may take many years, and that's okay. It's not about whether or not you get there. It's more about if you're really working on it and trying to improve it, and there's no place to get to because there's always more room to grow. But the hope is that you feel more and more peace in your life, change the energy of yourself and the people around you, because those are the only people you could change is yourself. So that's the goal. We work on ourselves, we do it together and help each other, and then hopefully that permeates to your outside world. Let's see Now, before we meditate, I'm just going to explain how we meditate and the purpose behind the program of the meditation. The first thing it's going to start with is breathing. And the breathing is so critical because what we're trying to do is to tap into our autonomic nervous system. And it's not easy to do that. Most people can't say, I'm going to lower my heart rate. I'm going to lower my blood pressure. It's too high with their mind alone. Some people, but there's an ability to do this. And breathing is that bodily function that we do both unconsciously and consciously. What do I mean? If you're not thinking about breathing, you're still breathing. And if you weren't, you'd know it within a couple of seconds. So therefore, you could go about your whole day not conscious that you're breathing, but you know you are, because as soon as you hold your breath, you become aware. But breathing can also be conscious, and it's a very easy bodily function to become aware and conscious of. So if you count how long you inhale, you count how long you hold it, you count how long you exhale, and you count how long you rest, and then you do it again, you are going to affect your autonomic nervous system. Other things will follow. So you will slowly, after a few minutes of doing it, probably lower your heart rate, lower your blood pressure, lower the stress hormones, and also, very importantly, change your brain waves. In our normal state of the day, we're in a beta brainwave state. If you're in stress, you're in high beta. And that's fine when you need to be alert and doing the things you're doing. It's okay to be in high beta if you're running from a tiger, but most of the time we're not. Right? Most of the time we're not. So lowering the brain waves to alpha is a way of connecting with your unconscious. So you don't always control the thoughts that you have, but your thoughts affect you. And your thoughts create emotions, and emotions are felt in the body. So the idea is to change your thoughts and become aware sometimes where your other thoughts are coming from. If you wake up in the morning and you feel a little stress or anxiety, know that you're getting signals from your body that are kind of automatic. And then what it will do, you will start to think of thoughts equal to the emotion that you're feeling. So if you're feeling fearful or feeling angry about something, you're going to get a whole list of things that probably make you fearful and angry. And the idea is to jump in there, sort of be someone outside yourself jumping in and say, no, I don't want to be there, so I'm going to change it. And it's hard to do it with your mind alone. It's possible. But if you change your breathing, or you do a little exercise, anything that kind of mixes up that feeling, you get a better feeling in your body, then you're going to get other thoughts. In this meditation, though, we're going to think about the real truths of who we are based on Hasidic teachings. After we get into, hopefully, a alpha brainwave state. And everybody's different. I don't know when you're in it. I don't always know when I'm in it. But when you feel more relaxed, it's likely you're there. And some people go into what's even deeper, which is a theta brainwave state. And theta is that little twilight period where it's right before you fall asleep or right before you wake up. So the best times to do this meditation is really very early in the morning and or late at night, when you can get when you're tired and relaxed. If you could stay awake during it, then you can sometimes get some mental imagery that is very teaches you a lot about yourself. So let's do it. Okay. So what I want you to do is be hopefully in a very quiet, comfortable place, not going to be disturbed for about 20 minutes or so. I'm not going to play music right now. There's two reasons for that. One, it's during the Sphira, some people are very careful about not listening to music. The type of music I would play is probably not a problem for that. But so the other reason is, though, I'd only be able to do a very low-tech version, how I would play music at the same time. I did some things with sharing screens and playing through the computer, and maybe next time. But for now, we're going to do the breathing. You're going to try to listen to my instructions. You could do this sitting up. I actually want you to sit up straight, and let's try not to be disturbed if possible. Don't do anything else. And if again, I guess my internet is going pretty well, so it's not a problem. But if that changes, I will find out from my technical people working with me. Please don't break out of the space you're in, because I really hope to get you as relaxed as possible. And then we'll see where the meditation goes. And after that's over, we'll discuss it and see if what kind of experiences we had. Okay, so I do want to mention one thing before we start. This program is dedicated in memory of Ari Gold, a very close friend of our family from Vacation Village. And he was a hero to many people, a good friend. He was taken from us too young, but he was a very special person who actually came to my classes a couple of times in Vacation Village. And yeah, so thoughts of him and his will hopefully come to me during this meditation, inspire me to help other people reach their potential and become new people, happier people, and people who will help others too, which is who Ari was. Okay. Okay. If you okay, just give me 1 second. I'm going to change my screen, and for the meditation, I suggest, if not maybe right away, because I want to show you. Something. Look at this. Hold on 1 second. Okay, there we go. Can you see that? All right. I'm going to get out of the way. That says Hedva in Hebrew. And below the Ches, we read right to left, is 8, which is the gematria of that letter. Then Daled, you have a 4, Vav a 6, Hey a 5. Okay? We're going to get to that pretty early on. And this is not something I made up. There's actually a meditation I learned from Rabbi Ginsburg of Israel, who suggests you do this. And don't be too strict with yourself. If you can, I'll do the counting. If you go 5 or 6 or 7, it's not. It's liberal. Don't be hard on yourself. We're not going to be hard on ourselves. That's not the point. Okay, so I'm going to move away from the screen. You can look at that if you want. Or I also suggest you close your eyes during the meditation. Okay, let's begin. Okay, when you do the breathing, if you know how to do deep breathing using your diaphragm that's in your stomach, when you inhale through your nose, I want you to expand your stomach and then bring the air up to your chest, and then imagine you're bringing it up to your head. And then when you exhale, I want you to exhale out your mouth. Okay? Now before we do Hedva, we'll do a shorter one, a 4-4-6 breath, which will be 4 in, 4 hold, 6 exhale. Okay? So close your eyes, get comfortable, sit up, hands on your knees, and slowly inhale through your nose for a count of 4, 2, 3, 4, and hold it for 4, 2, 3, 4, and exhale out your mouth slowly for a count of 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale, expand your stomach, bring it up to your chest, into your head and hold it. 2, 3, 4. And exhale slowly out your mouth for 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4. 2, 3, 4. And hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale out your mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more time. Inhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold it. And exhale out your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's breathe Hedva. Hedva is inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And hold it for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale out your mouth for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest and relax for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, try to get in the rhythm on your own. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And hold it. 3, 2, 1. And exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now keep going on your own. Keep breathing. Inhale. And when you inhale, I want you to imagine that you're drawing energy up from the base of your spine all the way to the top of your head. And hold it. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And relax. Again, inhale and imagine you're drawing energy up from the bottom of your spine all the way to the top of your head. Follow that energy with your mind and imagine that you're taking the mind out of the body. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, and relax. Or exhale and then relax. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale and imagine you're drawing energy up from the base of your spine to the top of your head. And hold it there. And exhale and relax. Again, imagine you're drawing energy up from the base of your spine when you inhale, all the way to the top of your head, imagining that you're taking the mind out of the body. Hold it at the top of your head and exhale and relax. Keep breathing. Inhale. I want you to imagine that you're in a room, a very comfortable room, and water, warm, soothing, healing water is filling the room around your feet. Feel the warmth of the water as it rises up around your ankles, slowly up to your shins. Feel the volume of water around your feet and ankles. This is healing water. Warm, soothing water. Imagine it going up to right below your knees. And your feet are feeling lighter and lighter. Let it rise up to your hips and relax. Let the water slowly rise, soothing your body, soothing your legs, and letting them feel lighter and lighter. Let the water rise up to your middle of your stomach, more and more, higher and higher. Feel the volume of water in the room. Now your arms are floating in the water, and you're relaxed, at peace. Now the water's rising to your shoulders. It's warm, soothing, healing water. Imagine the water coming up to your face and to your head. And now you're floating in water. And relax. Ein od milvado. There's nothing that exists except God. God has not changed in any way since He created the world. And He created this world for a reason, with a purpose. That you should be a partner in creating this world and make it a place where God can dwell. But He needs you. And every moment since God created the world, He's continuously putting His energy into the world so it exists. Every moment, every day. If He was not thinking of the chair you're sitting in, the chair would not exist. And if he's thinking about the chair all the time, how much more so is he thinking about you? You're his partner. That's who you really are. You agreed to come here, to come down into this world, and you've been here before. And only you can fulfill a particular mission to help the world and help God complete creation. Your soul accepted this mission. Before you were born, you made a deal with God to come back here. And now you're here. And he needs you. That's who you really are. There's no past. There's no future. The only thing that's happening right now is right now. Life is a series of now moments. The past doesn't exist now. It only exists in your memory. Memories can be good if they provide you with the wisdom of who you are now. But sometimes we forget who we really are and we go unconscious. So the goal is become aware of the unconscious. So let's go on a journey. With your eyes closed, I want you to imagine your childhood and a place that you were so familiar with from your childhood. Could be your bedroom, any room of your home. And I want you to imagine you're that child in that room. And I want you to scan the room for all the things in the room that you remember perfectly well. You can see it. You can smell it. You can hear it. You can feel it. It's that familiar to you. Spend a minute there as that child. You're alone in that room. Look around. Now I want you to imagine that you're your present self and you're knocking on the door of that room. You walk into that room and you see yourself as a child. And the child looks at you and invites you in. And you lock eyes. And you both know who each other are. The child knows it's its future self. And the future self knows that that's them as a child. Walk up to the child. Look into each other's eyes. And be at peace with that child. The child is looking to you for some wisdom and guidance. What advice would you give that child? Spend a minute. You don't even have to say it. You're looking at each other and you just know it. You're thinking it and the child's feeling your thoughts. Just think about it. Comfort that child. Love that child. And when you're done, tell the child it's going to be okay. It's safe. God's with them. There'll be challenges in life. But remember your mission. Give the child a hug, say goodbye, and slowly walk out of the room. Take a deep breath. Inhale through your nose. Hold it. And exhale and relax. Now come back to the present. Keep your eyes closed. And I want you to imagine an event that you're waiting for in your personal life. Something that's going to happen that you would be so happy if it occurred. It could be health related. It could be financial related. It could be relationship related. Pick one. And make a little mind movie of it. Imagine it's already happening now. If you're with somebody that you love, you're hoping something happens for them, picture them. Picture their face smiling. Can you feel the gratitude in your heart at this event? Gratitude is an emotion of receivership, meaning when you are given something, you're grateful. Can you feel grateful now? Before the event occurs. Imagine it in all its details. Where your mind goes is where you are. The Baal Shem Tov taught us that. It's where you really are. So if you have a thought of the future that's really good, and you can feel as in your heart and body as if it's already happened, then it's already happened. The thought sends the signal out, and the feeling is the magnet to bring it back. this is how we live with the Hasidic lesson of think good and it will be good. We imagine that everything is happening for a reason, and that reason is good. You are exactly right now where God wants you to be in this present moment. It's living with Hashgacha Pratis, divine providence. If it's happened, it was meant to be. So if you think positive and think good about your future, and you feel it in your heart, then you're already living with it now. But ultimately, we're not here just to grab moments from the future for ourselves. We're here on a mission together. And that mission is to bring Moshiach to this physical world. So if you're aware of what the world will be like when Moshiach comes, let's imagine that now. Pick one aspect that you learned will happen, like peace in the world, the end of sickness, the end of poverty, the end of jealousy, the end of hatred, a world of love and peace. Now pick one thing. It could be seeing our loved ones again who have passed on. And I want you to keep your eyes closed and imagine that you're in the Beis Hamikdash, the third holy temple. If you've ever seen a model or an illustration, imagine it in your mind and be there. And we're all waiting online to greet Moshiach. And now it's your turn. And Moshiach looks at you right in the eyes. And you look back. And nothing really needs to be said. It's an all-knowingness. All the answers that you've ever wondered why things happened the way they did melt away. It's all clear. Spend a few moments there. See the face of a loved one who you want to see again. All the pain is melted away. It all makes sense. Now when you're ready, slowly open your eyes and come back to beta consciousness. Take a deep breath. I'm gonna unmute you. Like, how do I do that? Can I unmute everybody? All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hello, Lynn. You popped up.
Yes. Oh, I had a little trouble because I didn't put capitals. So I got on, so ignore the phone calls. But I it just was so fulfilling and uplifting for me at this time of mourning, even though it's after the Shloshim. That was so so comforting, giving me harmony and peace and connection to Hashem and to Ari and when Mashiach will come, we'll all be resurrected and I'll see his face again. That was so comforting. I hope you'll do it again, this summer when we're all gathered together. It was just I can't describe it. Very, very comforting at this time of my life.
Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that. I wanted to discuss a little bit about. Well, actually, at this point, I guess I think I said enough. If there's anybody who has questions, there's a way to type it in, and then but I don't. Oh yeah, the chat. Yeah. Okay. Bruce, I can hear you. Okay. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Was there any technical problems? Did you during the meditation? Could you hear what I was saying? Let's see. Muting.
You were very, very low.
It was low. Okay.
Very low.
Very low. Okay. Okay. Well.
But I do have a question.
Sure.
So
what's your name?
My name is Eitan.
Hi, Eitan.
Hi. Thank you for the experience. But if I want to meditate on my own using this, which part do I take? I can't do all of it. There's no way I can remember, 20-minute talk and all the other things.
Mm-hmm. What I'll do? It's a good question. I can. The idea was to break it up into like 2 or 3 parts. One is to do the breathing and relaxing for as long as you need to. That could be 5 minutes. That could be 20 minutes. Really, so depends on where you are at that moment. If you're stressed out at the time before you start, it may take you a little while to really get into a relaxed state. So that part, is just a matter of just doing the Hedva breathing or some version or close to it. After that, the idea is to while you're relaxed, to kind of be less focused on your physicalness. That's why we did the water part. And there's different ways to do that also. The last part is really kind of, you could just be creative with it. There's 2 or 3 ideas, I think, that are really important, and that's the idea that God is continuously creating the world all the time, and everything is divine providence, and that you are a major player in this creation. That's who you really are, and all the other stuff is just story that you might tell yourself. So if you could just focus on those ideas, then you could just be creative with it afterwards and imagine anything that you want. You could go back in time and try to see what kind of makes you, what are your programs, like what causes you fear or anxiety or anger or guilt or shame or whatever holds you back from believing who you really are. And then also you could go to your future and think of wonderful events and be creative. You don't have to remember everything or do it exactly this way. It's just you just really want to get relaxed, follow the fundamental principles, and then create the life that you want to live. How's that, Eitan?
Thank you.
There's a question here from Bruce Rubenstein. Mitch, did the Alter Rebbe or those after him address the contemplation of the individual letters of Hedva themselves in the meditation rather than just using the gematria to count the breathing intervals? Bruce, I got that from Rabbi Yitzhak Ginsburg in Israel. I don't know what his source of it was, but there's also a very good book from Rabbi Dov Pinson on visualization and imagery, and he brings down a lot of the Hasidic sources and pre-Hasidic sources for certain visualizations, and including some that are gematria driven. But like I said at the beginning of it, it's not really strict. The idea is to slow the breathing down. And the science behind that is that, as you probably know, it makes you more relaxed, it reduces the fight or flight response, and lowers the brain waves, and then hopefully you could get into the autonomic nervous system that really has very good healing benefits. And yeah, so there are sources, and I'll look it up more for you. How's that, Bruce? Can I unmute you, Bruce? I'm asked to unmute.
How was that? Can you hear me now, Mitch?
I can.
Your question was, how was that? The response is great as always.
Okay, good. All right, thank you.
I just think that particularly when you were describing the meditation, and then you get to a more advanced level, where you're able to separate, as you were explaining, the mind from the body.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the perfect time to contemplate the much deeper meaning behind the letters, the way Rabbi Raskin in Letters of Light, discusses the various levels of the letters, because there must be something at a deeper level there.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a good idea to do some research, and his book is a good place to start, for sure. By the way, if anyone, it's easy to leave a Zoom meeting. You just click, and goodbye. No one's holding you back from going about your. It's been an hour. I'm still here now for a few more minutes. I'll take more questions, but don't feel bad if you have to leave. You don't even have to yell goodbye or whatever. But I would appreciate feedback if you want to send an email or text or whatever. Okay. Hi, can you explain why I'm seeing colors, beautiful colors, almost like a painting, but the colors keeps rotating? Also felt some heaviness in my arm and hands towards the end of the meditation, still feeling the sensation in my body. Love the meditation. Hi, that's fantastic feedback. Like I said, you were probably in theta brainwave state, which is that little period of time right before you fall asleep or right as you wake up, and that is when you really get into the seat of your subconscious mind and put new thoughts in there that are really true and wholesome. So that feeling, I think it's called cat. There's a sense of like where you might actually feel paralyzed, but your mind is awake. So your body's asleep and your mind is awake. And if you ever experience that, it can be scary. But I recommend highly, don't be scared, because that is an opportunity where you can take your mind and you can actually take a level of your energetic body and have an out-of-body experience and go places. I'm not kidding. I mean, if you ever heard of astral projection, you can look at it and you look it up on YouTube, and you can actually take lessons in it, and there's a lot you could do if you do that. And that sounds to me, if you get those feelings in your body, that's just you kind of like becoming very bittul and becoming very almost all consciousness, and you become no person, no place, and no time. Yeah, so you can go on a lot of journeys there, but it's not just a journey for fun or spiritual excitement. It's about really going deep, and we can explore that together. I've had a couple of those, but I can't control them to the extent that some people can do it at will. Yeah, so we could talk about that more another time. All right. Anybody else want to?
Yeah. Mitch.
Yeah.
Mitch. Yeah. We could talk about mantras. Ain Levado. Could you repeat that mantra?
Ain od milvado. There's nothing that exists but God. That's how I loosely translate it. Nothing. I always start with that, because the idea is
od levado.
Milvado. It's in the davening.
Milvado.
Yeah, right before you take out the Torah in the Siddur, you'll see it there right before, right around the Torah service. That's
Ain od
Milvado.
Okay, Milvado.
Yeah. If there are no more questions, we can say goodbye. And
This is just a comment.
hi, Roberta.
Hi. It was very amazing. My final vision was all of us dancing up the stairs of the Beis Hamikdash together.
Mm-hmm.
All of us
Mm-hmm.
dancing up the stairs of the Beis Hamikdash together.
Mm-hmm.
Such a joyous event. And a few months ago, I was hit by a car, so I'm not dancing yet. But I even saw myself dancing up the stairs with everyone, rejoicing in such an amazing high energy. So I'm thanking you very, very much. Thank you.
You for you, Mashiach's already here, because if you could get there and feel that, that's the whole point. We're going to reveal the Geula, this period of time, by imagining that we live it now, because the Rebbe said it's already here. We just have to open our eyes. So if that's the case, then look at these little challenges in your life as just like a little hurdle. Don't get too down about it. Don't run your old programs about it. Don't beat yourself up about them. Really don't, because it's just blinds us from our real mission of who we really are. And
I'm walking now. I'm walking.
See that?
I'm rejoicing while I am walking. I can stand up and sit down again. Every moment is another miracle for me in my life, as I say, wow, I can do that. Oh, I can do that.
Excellent.
Still a little dizzy, but I'm doing the best I can. But dancing.
All right. Fantastic.
Upstairs.
Mitch, that was
all of us together.
Mitch, that was so good and so great. And I'm looking forward to connecting with you after to go over a couple of things.
Sure.
But one of the things that I wanted to share is when you said about Moshiach, like a vision came in my head and I was like smiling, and whoever Moshiach was smiling back at me. And it was almost like giving me the thumbs up that I did my part, which was really cool. So like we all need to do our part and be the best us we can be to make it happen. The only way it's going to happen is if we're all in it together. Is that right? Yeah.
But at the same time, the Rebbe, when he empowered us on the 28th of Nisan 30 years ago, that's the anniversary of this time period. It was right after, it was just like a week ago. And it wasn't that he was like frustrated that Mashiach didn't come. He just really believed he did everything he could, and now he empowered us to do it. He gave us the power to do it. And he said the Geula's here, so we just have to open our eyes. And that's hard to do sometimes because there's a lot of other messages out there in the world, especially today. But if we stick with the program and live our lives the way we know they're supposed to be, but it's not just thinking it. You got to think it and feel it. So when you think it, thoughts are the language of the mind, and feelings are the language of the body, and the body follows the thoughts. So don't listen to those thoughts that come from below. Make the thoughts from high, and then the body will follow. And then you're just going to be living it. You're going to live life as if everything is good now, and that's really what you want. You're not looking for wonderful things to happen in your life so you could be happy. If you're happy now, you're feeling whole now, those things will just flow. But the goal is not those little events. The goal is to feel the simcha from inside, and ultimately that's what we're doing to make Mashiach come. Or that's what.
Well, Mitch, you're definitely helping bring Moshiach by doing this class.
All right. Yeah. I'm trying. That is the idea. And I need you all to help me do it too. Like I said, we all have our own personal mission, and that's who you really are. And so it's Oz v'chedva bimkomo. Self-confidence and joy are in his place. That's the mantra here. That when you have that self-confidence of who you really are, not the stories that you made up from 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, and you just remember what your mission is, and you're going to reveal the happiness inside of you. And that's the love, I think, of Hashem that the Tanya speaks about in these last few days. If you learn the Tanya every day, that's one of probably the lower level is when you meditate on the greatness of God. Then you're revealing it in you. It's innate. It's innate in you. Yeah.
Just wanted to share. Rabbi Gordon has an amazing Tanya class online. It's free. It's so good. Mm-hmm. It speaks to everyone. I learn it every day, and it definitely changed my life since COVID. I started learning his teachings, mm-hmm. not his teachings, but the Alter Rebbe's teachings, and he's an incredible teacher. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you heard of him.
Yeah, I have. It's on Chabad.org. I think you could.
Yeah.
Yeah. He passed away a few years ago, I think.
He passed away, but let me tell you, he's definitely very alive.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, good advice. Oh, wait, there's more questions here. LLB. Is there a reason and why I'm always dozing off in the middle of any meditation and don't remember anything after that point? Example, I just woke up. Thank you in advance. Where is LLB? Okay. Yeah. So that's okay, because sleep, because you got relaxed, and you fell asleep. The goal is to keep the mind awake and let the body go to sleep. And that may take some practice. And sometimes you're going to fall asleep anyway because you're just very tired and your body needed to sleep. So don't feel bad. There's no such thing as a bad meditation. But work on trying to, and maybe have the intention before you start that you want your body to go to sleep, but the mind to stay awake. And that's when you can really stay conscious and remember what goes on in meditation. That could be even before you go to sleep. We could I mentioned lucid dreaming, where you're dreaming and you can actually change the dream. That's sort of keeping the mind awake, or an astral projection, which is even cooler. But don't feel bad for falling asleep. That's very common. That just means your body needed it and you were very relaxed. But I recorded this, so hopefully I can download it, share it, and then you can stay awake next time.
You were talking about Tanya before. A long time ago, Rabbi Spritzer, if anybody ever heard of him, he got hit by a car a long time ago, about close to 50 years ago. Told me that Eitan and Tanya is the same letters.
Yeah. So
same gematria.
Yeah, that's who you are.
Same energy, intelligence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mitch, I wanted to thank you so much. It was very enjoyable, like always. Whenever I come up to the village, I love to come to your sessions, and even when I came to Crown Height to your area, to your shul that day. So thank you so much for inviting me. And if you could do like a 15-20 minute session, like of that meditation, that would really be, and record it,
And
like,
record it and send it out. Yeah, okay. I did a short one once and put it on YouTube, but I'll make a longer one, and that way I could edit it and play with it and kind of make it, as good as possible. I will work on that.
Yeah.
Bleed netter. Okay.
Thank
All right.
you.
Okay, everybody. Is that that it? Thank you so much for coming. Those of you who I've never met, it's nice to sort of meet you. Hope to meet you in person, and I would like to do this more often. Maybe once a week at most, and maybe some other ideas I have.
Yeah, I would love that.
I'm in.
Okay, great.
But maybe not on maybe on evening.
You like it in the evening during the week sometime?
Or earlier in the morning, so it doesn't break up the day.
Yeah, I know this is
even though it's a wonderful, but like on Sunday, I love doing. Maybe we can do earlier on Sunday. I don't know.
I will try to figure out. I know I could definitely do it at least an hour earlier. But for the first one, I wanted to make sure I was properly prepared and all the technical things were in place. And I got this fancy microphone and couldn't wait to use it. And that's really why I did it.
Very cool.
Makes me just
you were fantastic.
Yes, you're
sing a song here.
Wonderful.
Nothing more than feelings.
Yeah, a little bit louder.
Okay, I'll do it louder. I can't hear it myself so I don't know. So I appreciate the feedback, and I will work on the volume control. And again, we'll do it again. But the idea really is to try to do some version of this daily. I mean, that is a Jewish practice. Even before prayer, it says we're supposed to do this like an hour before prayer. So imagine it's a lot of time. But you can see the benefits, because it's not just learning something with your mind and getting inspired for a little bit. It's really working on yourself and reminding again, who am I really? What am I here for? Why do I exist? What does God want from me? Why did God create the world? And what's my mission as part of that plan? And constantly reminding yourself that throughout the day, not just during a meditation, but because you can't ever control what happens to you from the outside, but you can control how you react to it. So be the deer who survived that tiger chase, right? And let it go. The tiger was just hungry and wanted to survive too. It's nothing personal. So look at that as your life challenges. Don't get angry at others. Don't get angry at yourself, most importantly. Be loving to yourself and be loving to God, and continue your mission. And you are exactly where you're supposed to be right now, but God really still needs you. So let's go out there and do it. All right?
Excuse me?
Sure,
At what point of this meditation are we supposed to, get the clarity about our mission, ask those questions?
I don't know how
you went from the little the child
Mm-hmm.
to Beit HaMikdash. So are we supposed to go further back or further forward, or?
Well, you can work on on your own, kind of work on that, because this was like a general thing for everybody, and a lot of things happen to us as children. In the first 8 years of our life, children are in alpha brainwave state. Their subconscious is just absorbing and sponging up everything, but they have an intellect of a child. So very often we tell the wrong story about something that happened to us as a kid. So it wasn't anything majorly traumatic. We were raised by human beings. We were taught in school by human beings who have their own problems. But we looked up to them as authority figures, as everything they said was right and true. And sometimes it was, and sometimes it wasn't. And sometimes it wasn't motivated with the right reason. So that's personal to you. So a lot of this, you'll work out as you practice doing it. But it's also not always so important to know what were the specific problems in your past, as much as it is to stay present and move forward, because we all have our baggage, some more than others. But if we stay present and know the past isn't happening anymore, and what our mission is, and we can keep the mission pretty general. If you don't know specifically, I don't know specifically what my mission is, but I know I'm one of the Jewish people. God gave us the Torah. I'm supposed to work on myself. I'm not supposed to listen to the desires of the body and the animal soul, which is not just the temptations of the world that we're supposed to not do, but it's also not listening to these mixed messages because that's the body kind of and the animal soul driving our thoughts of who we are. And again, that's also following the direction of the body, and because the body contains all those memories of all those traumas and emotions that aren't good, but they're based on a story that's not accurate. So we take the mind out of that body, and the mind controls the body, and the mind controls the heart. So you dictate what to do, and you're training your body to follow, and that's how we transform ourselves into tzaddikim. And then together we help each other do it, and then it's going to be all good after that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. It was wonderful.
My pleasure. Okay, so we'll be in touch, and I'll let you know when we do this again, and maybe other times of the week or times of the day that are better. Sundays are a good day for me.
Yes, Sunday is a good day.
I'll try to do it earlier because it's a beautiful day, and I don't want to keep you all inside. So go out there and conquer the world with love and peace and gratitude, and live with that.
You. Love.
All right.
Amen. Gratitude.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it.
Hey, we
All
have
right.
Moshiach tonight.
Amen.
We have Moshiach
Amen.
tonight.
Amen. Let's not even wait that long. All right.
Amen.
Oh, today, right now, right now.
All right.
Thank you, thank you,
Amen.
thank you.
Okay. Bye. Thank you all. Be well.
So.
You too. Thank you.